Hello,
What up,
hello.
though? What up, though? We
Welcome.
are back.
Yes.
I know y'all were thinking they can't possibly still be doing this podcast.
Eighth
But-
week, ninth week.
Yep. But we are determined. It's a pandemic going on, so we have nothing else better to do. So why not? Welcome everyone to Blasian Soul Podcast.
Mhm.
My name is Marcella Robertson. My beautiful wife, Nippapon Robertson.
Thank you.
And we are here once again to talk about current events,
Yes.
to see what's going on in the world, to shed light on community leaders and role models that are in your community and right around the corner. Our goal is to show that because of some of the negative stereotypes that have popped up for the Asian community as well as the Black community, that there are role models out there in our community, that what is being said in public for a few ignorant people are not really the case as far as our communities are concerned. I would first like to say that I guess the pandemic has taken another turn for the worst. So they are initiating the lockdown procedures again. Hopefully it'll just be for these few weeks and it won't last longer than that. But that, I guess, exemplifies what the medical professionals and health professionals are saying, that, man, wear your masks, wear a face shield, do social distancing. None of that stuff hurts, okay? If they were making you mandatory take a vaccine or something along, putting something in your body, things of that nature, then I can definitely understand when people would have be hesitant to follow those directions, because that could be something that is long lasting. But this, putting on a mask, putting on a face shield, that is something that is simple to do and could possibly save lives. Even if you think that you are strong enough that if you did get it with such a low mortality rate, that you would be fine, that doesn't mean that everyone that comes in contact with you will not be fine as well. So if you got kids, you got parents that are older, that's what you got to think of.
Yes.
There are a lot of small businesses that are being impacted by the shutdown. So if nothing else, think of it from that aspect, that you might not believe in it, but doing this hopefully will open up the country again, so that small businesses will be able to thrive. Me and my wife own several small businesses, from marketing to coaching to beauty, and we've been impacted as well. We started our business, or two of our businesses, right when COVID hit. So we signed a contract for office space and retail space and all of these things only for our first year being in business for the pandemic.
And our ribbon cutting was the day of the quarantine.
Yes.
When they made us quarantine.
Yes.
So if you need some space, I got one in Elgin.
But we had the Chamber of Commerce ready to come out. We were doing the ribbon cutting, and then all hell broke loose. So we are speaking from experience that it affects everyone in a variety of ways. Definitely. So to help out the community, to help out people that you know, and to help out small businesses, just wear a mask.
And the elderly, and perfect example, we just lost a family member. My uncle had passed away from Kansas City, and due to COVID. So this thing is serious, you guys, and it's getting way too close to home. I bet everybody right now knows somebody that has it or that has passed away from it. So definitely look out. If it's not for you, like you're healthy and young and you don't think you're going to catch it or be affected by it, at least think of those elderly ones that we just lost. My uncle just a couple days ago, he was tested a week ago and doing okay, and then he had his dialysis. He had other underlying health issues, of course, but a week later, the family said he died instantly, just like that. While he was doing his dialysis, he lost his life, and my aunt's fighting COVID right now, the family. So I'm begging you guys to please take precaution whenever you can, even if it's not for you, think of the families that have been impacted by the deaths out there.
Yes. They say, you know, people, the numbers are incorrect because people are dying of other causes, but you got to understand that COVID weakens to a certain degree your body. So yeah, if you have an underlying condition, it would affect that. So this is like a multiplier for things that are in your body that are not healthy or that you're suffering from.
And it could be prevented. And they could have lived a longer life. My uncle could have seen another day, you know, so just things like that.
And at the beginning of this, I lost a good college friend that I basically grew up with. I known since I was probably 14 years old, by the name of Michael Power. Young man, about my age, a deacon in the church. So as far as his lifestyle and how he was living, I mean, he was a man of God. So it had nothing to do with how he lived his life, but that he was affected by this tragic disease. I had another college friend, Omari, who his sister passed away. Once again, great guy. We're going to have him on next week because he's done a lot of amazing things for the Black community. I consider him a Black activist and also to a certain extent a political activist. So when you have people like that who dedicate a portion of their time and their life to better other people and to see things like that happen to them or people close to them, it affects everyone. So, definitely. Yeah, we lost good people.
And we lost your dad in April. We don't know if it's due to COVID because he's so private, but all of a sudden he took a turn and then he was gone just like that. And so I don't want to do another obituary. I don't want to do another funeral. I just don't, you know, so you guys stay safe out there. And, you know, just to kind of transition from that, tonight we have a special guest. She is a longtime ICU nurse, practitioner. She's done it all, entrepreneur. She's very well knowledgeable in the healthcare field, life and health coach. Rasmi, who's currently an ICU nurse at Sherman Hospital. So she is up in the front lines, and maybe at the end of it, we could have her stay on just for a little bit so she can speak to some of our elderly Lao listeners and viewers so she can translate in Laos so you guys can understand as well, because we want to protect the ones that can't understand us talking right now. She can at least relate and speak to those crowds as well. So without further ado, please help me welcome Miss Rasmi here to the podcast.
Hello. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I just want to tell you how I appreciate you starting this Blasian show and podcast. It really brings current events to our community for people to learn about the current affairs and be more knowledgeable of affairs and as part of philanthropy charity to educate people. So I would like to introduce myself. My name is Rasmi Sengpraseuth. I'm Laos, an immigrant from the country of Laos. And currently I'm an ICU nurse, but I've been around the block, ICU nurse for 25 years. But I have entrepreneur business experience, small business in setting up 2 companies. And then also I'm a pro bono life coach and health coach to people as well. As I said, the pandemic right now, as Marcel was saying, we're experiencing a second surge, and which means that right now, the hospitals are not even accepting visitors, and if the patient have COVID, and then even non-COVID patient, they only allow 1 visitors. So there's more restrictions. But this time, during the beginning of the pandemic in February and March, there was a lot of stuff we didn't know about, and there was a lot of panic in regards to proper PPD to protect our healthcare worker and protect the community. There's been changes about what's effective, cloth and mask or no mask, and there's throughout a couple months, 8 months and stuff like that. We got a break, a slow down during December, July, and August, and then at the end of October, we are seeing more surges, people coming in. And, in the beginning, a lot of us healthcare profession too thought that the flu was worse.
Yeah.
and it was just like another flu. And then it only affects the elderly because we got information from China, we got information from Italy that it was affecting the elderly population. But as we know more about the virus, it doesn't discriminate against age. It doesn't, and a lot of people are more affected by it. Maybe like the 20-year-old teens are have mild symptoms or symptomatic, and then like the older population, if they are affected by it, they death is like an at the end result. But for me, I see like my age group, the 30s to the 60s, are the one who's really like massively affected by it. To me, it's like being like a nurse who, been a nurse for 25 years, I have never hold like a patient who died from like the flu personally. I'm sure like there's statistic numbers, and some people say that the flu killed the same amount or something like that. In my experience, I have never, but COVID, I have held like um, someone who died from COVID. There's always argument that said, are people dying from like with COVID or because of COVID? And we find out that some of the people who are like critical effect by it don't have pre-existing conditions. And the younger ones, the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s, because before we're like, okay, it hits like the people in the 70s and to 90s more, right? But what we're seeing, like it's the age group is bringing down, and the people in the 30s and 50s, they are like the breadwinners of their family, so and to see like one death, it's someone's mom, someone's husband, someone's wife, someone's child, someone's grandmother, someone's grandfather. And then what's so sad is for me is like that when the patient passed away or they're in hospitalized a month or two, they don't have anyone. They don't have any human touch besides the nurses who's trying to physically save their life.
Right.
And then all we can do is like Zoom families. So we like as a nurse, we feel from like the other end of like families are waiting dates on their family and not being to hold their hands and during the last moments. And then even like one family, right? Any one family, death to their family is like such a excruciating pain.
Yes.
And like someone losing a father or husband or wife who's a breadwinner, whose children are in their teens, in their 20s, because I think we make a conception that this disease kill like the elderly more, and it doesn't affect like and it's affecting more the people we see people and 50s who are really affected. I know myself, from my experience, is that I have families and friends who are like in two different like viewpoints and narrative about and COVID. Some are like anti-mask, anti their freedom, and why other people are like we need to quarantine for until the vaccine comes out. I'm kind of like in the middle because I know that COVID is not only like the people who get sick, but if the whole family dynamic, it affects the community, affects them emotion with their mental wellness, because we're social beings. We like to gather, we like to network, and it's causing people mental health issues, mental wellness, and then also it affects people financially. The economy has been crashed, and my friends who have like small owned businesses are losing losing their livelihood, and then and then even like some people who may not be financially secure, they have to take a risk to go to work in the factory where they know they can be exposed. But what choice do they have? Is it like their life risk providing for the family and economically, paying like the mortgage or the utilities, or like risk getting infected? So there's like two like opposite narrative. But for me, like being someone who see it in front, and I'm like the one who's in the room, in the classroom, negative airport, just me and the patient. And
Yeah.
this, and my heart just goes out to the family and myself and the patient. And then, like the patient's still like strong. When they're like sick with COVID, they don't even think about themselves. They said that, tell my family I'm okay, I'm gonna fight, So they're worrying about their family and their family's future, instead of like worrying about themselves. And like friends and family who's been low or unemployed, or like any emotional stress and stuff like that, and a lot of people have reached out to me. So I want to kind of share with people, like, what resources can you utilize during this pandemic. And then also, like, as far as mental wellness, check on your family members, check on your friends, and especially the people who appear to be very strong up front. They may be the one who's suffering in depression or emotional, because externally, like, they show up like a strong front, but behind back they're like going through a lot. So I recommend that people check on their friends, their family. It's right, this time that that you have, like, even like if you're quarantined, like, and I was talking to someone that, think of it as a positive effect. Use that time to learn a new skill set. So because the economy is going to change, the work is going to be changed, you're going to have to find ways to make yourself more marketable.
Yes.
So that's my insight. My insight is that, like, for me, a mask is just one simple thing.
Yes.
Right.
It's not like infringing upon your liberty, but like, we can all agree to disagree. But for me, myself, because I'm in the front line and I'm a single mom, I'm like the sole provider for like 11 people. And my brother and my sister-in-law was on layoff for a period of time. And what I do is, how I protect my family is that I have to stay healthy. So like, and when I come home from work, I like shower myself. I take my vitamins, vitamin D3, which we find that COVID patients are very low on or defected on. So I ask my family to take vitamin D3, vitamin zinc, and vitamin C. And that's some of the therapeutic treatment that we're using in the hospital. And then like for like 2 weeks ago, I found out my 18-year-old daughter was positive for COVID.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Wow.
So, and the only thing that she had was, thank God, the only thing she had was, that's what she said. So she contacted me like, really, like, Mom, what should I do? Should I go to the hospital? And I told her that as a mom, and you're my daughter, if anything happened to you, I'll go crazy. As long as I'll just live for my other two kids. But I said, if your symptom is only like no smell, then you should quarantine, and then take the vitamins, and then I'll check on you, like check up with day. So she's been quarantined, and she got retested. There's two type of like a retest. One is like the rapid test, and the one that takes about a couple of days. The one that takes a couple of days, they said, is more accurate. So on her retest, she got one positive, one negative. But she sent out a third one she didn't want to come home to expose my parents who's living with me.
Right.
And if they get it, they're going to be possibly be more severe. So
Yes.
as I think, even like a 18-year-old, I was proud that she knows like how to make sacrifices for her grandparents or her mom, So I just want to tell people that, like, if you have symptoms and stuff like that, get tested, because COVID testing is free, regardless whether you're unemployed, don't have insurance, or whether you're documented or undocumented. Reach out to the healthcare provider and ask for their recommendations on what to do, whether you need to be quarantined, whether you need to come to the hospital in a timely manner. And so like reach and know that there are like resources there to help with the community.
Sure.
So I just want people to know that there's resources available to help them.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. You let's talk a little bit about your past. You have been an ICU nurse for a while, or you've been in the medical profession for a while. Why don't you take us through that journey of how you got to become a nurse?
Oh, okay. So I initially went to University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, and one time I was passing to like an in-service, and then I saw like Velvet cupcakes, and so I went in there for the cupcakes, and then it was a seminar to recruit nursing students to University of Illinois in Chicago, UIC.
Mm-hmm.
And then only like 18 years old, and they said that we're recruiting someone to come to UIC College of Nursing in Chicago for a scholarship, free ride, room and board, and stipend.
Oh.
So at the time I did not know what I was getting to, what I wanted, and I just want to make sure it wasn't human trafficking. So I said, well, if you're legitimate, I'll meet you with my parents in UIC, Chicago campus. And it was real. They offered me a scholarship, offered me room and board, and a stipend at the time. So I went to like nursing, didn't really know what nursing was really about. All I know is like at the end of the road, they said they're gonna give like recruitment bonuses. And then at the time they were short of nurses that they're gonna like bonuses for a job.
Yeah.
But I was really young, stuff like that. I was very book smart. I got really great scores on my examination. I was book smart, but not really street smart. So I didn't really know like what nursing is until I like actually practice, and actually practice. And then the first time like a patient was crashing, about to die on me, I almost cried because I was like, I'm only like 21, what do I do? But the compassion, the love of like the patients and families, I really love it. Because when I take care of someone, I take care of is my family member, my parents, my brother and sister, or knock on wood, it was me. So as nursing is a beauty and a beast. So I learned to like really love my practice and about humanity. When you look at someone, when they're like thin and fragile and sick, I always ask like, what did you do before you retire? Or what did you do before you got sick? It's just like give like you like a more personal insight into this person. Like for example, I took care of like someone who has cancer. They're all like skin and bones. And then we just had talks and conversation. And this woman was like a top New York executive from like who traveled the world, who has like a feminist and wealth. So like it is really cool if you ever seen that video of like you look at someone but they look in the mirror, how they are, So I've been a nurse for 25 years, with bedside and also in an executive position and in management position. And then also I started two medical staffing companies. One was a home health company, and then also a staffing company where we do recruitment for nursing, physical therapy, academic therapy, CEO or managers. And I also love that job as well too, because I felt like I provide like a livelihood, employment for people. And then like, my previous employees, when I talk to them, I see them like buying houses, send their kids to college. So the livelihood, economical, providing people employment was also another like proud moment in my life as an entrepreneur.
Right. So tell us about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say also you are a life and health coach, which is something that my wife also
I think that's a passion in my and one of my dream is I was trying to collect publish a book about empower women, their success story and their struggles, and how so I was since in my 20s I was collecting mentors because I wanted to be a coach and mentor, and I also gather mentors.
Sure.
So to me right now, as far as life coaching, it's more like a pro bono that I want to help give back to society, give back to other people, to encourage people to go after their dreams. And so that is kind of like a charity type of thing that I'm doing.
Sure.
Awesome.
That is that's very commendable. So for people out there, you say you are pro bono right now for your life and health coach. So if someone is dealing with COVID and it's hard for them, your skill set can help them kind of overcome the depression that they're seeing and things of that nature?
I can also refer them. For example, right now the COVID, like I said, not only affect people physically, affects people who are in this, but it also affects the family dynamic as well too. Because social being, we like to network, we like to because sometimes your mindset and your happiness will help with your immunity too. People get sick when they're emotionally sick as well. I always say that if, for example, if you are employed right now and have a job, most companies have what they call employee assistance that tap on to help to reach, because sometimes people are afraid to get help. People view as mental health as negative connotation, whether it's stress from work related, from not enough money to pay your bills and stuff like that. So if you are if you have an employer, tap into the employee assistance program. If you're unemployed, there's resources and right now that you can ask for counseling, and charitable counseling resources that you can tap in. And then also even my cousin, she's a holistic and healer. She can reach out to her if you guys anyone wants. She can help you learn how to meditate or deal with situation, because I think we need to bring up the forefront of the impact of the pandemic have and the stressful life on people right now.
Sure.
And reach out to your friends and family for support. Reach out to if I can help you, I can try to people to help you. And because we're we need to be united and get through this together and be a better person, a better version of ourselves.
Sure. Now, how does something like the pandemic affect the healthcare workers? And when I say that, I don't just mean physically that you guys are exposing yourselves to danger to help our country and our community, but also it seems that there's a mental toll for healthcare professionals, because you see so many people sick. And as of right now, without any vaccine or anything of that nature, that there's not a lot that can be done other than waiting it out, taking your vitamins, and seeing how it affects you. So does that weigh on healthcare professionals mentally as well?
Yes, especially during the beginning of the pandemic, because there was a lot of unknown. And a lot of and then the issue of not having the appropriate PPD, and also that we don't know about. And these healthcare workers, they have families too.
Sure.
Like me, I'm a single mom who's a sole provider of my family. So we very cautious, but it's our job and our responsibility, because we sign up to take care of people, and even though we are risking our own health, but we're the frontliner.
Sure.
Frontliner to seize with compassion with every technology we have. So like my hospital have like the employee assistance program, and they like are very like supportive in like what they call mental wellness of like the healthcare worker and debriefments and stuff like that. As we know more about it, as we treat people with COVID the second round, there's not as much as panic.
Yeah.
Panic as much as like we have what I say more weaponry in regards to like our like strong mindset that we're gonna round two, we're gonna fight harder and then we're gonna win this battle against the COVID. So the community has so many resources, not only for healthcare workers, but our community. You know, I'm going to try looking more to see like what local community resources we have that we can support our community.
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
we are not didn't know that there's resources available, whether financial resources, whether like mental health issue resources, and locally, statewide, or like or even like small businesses, right? There's with the lockdown, there's you know, no one wants to be locked down. No one wants to have their business and go under. But there's also state funding that's available, grant that's available for small business for this second round of like shutdown, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, there's a second wave coming, and we knew it was coming. We just didn't know for sure. And you know, as far as like with the nurses goes, you know, I don't know if you know this, but we do have a client that does group counseling, online counseling. If you have like a group of nurses, they do take most insurance. Stonecatchers counseling, they will do virtually as well. If you have some nurses that want to do group counseling, you guys usually can get better like together.
Yes, yes. You know, that's like it's like so much like good people out there that will like try to help. You'll be surprised how much the community are there to support each other. Because in the media we just see so much division, right?
So
Division
much
thing,
division.
but when you kind of like break down, we're like brother and sister, and working together, living in the community together, and like supporting each other. And you know, I was at the beginning how like was able to incorporate like helping small businesses and helping the healthcare worker. The community was buying like healthcare worker lunches, and at the same time like helping like restaurants and business to do like carry out. So like the community and overall, I think that have a lot of resources, a lot of like support to help each other. And even though like in the media we see so much division, so much
and it's in the media, but we also see it. If you read so many posts, you get overwhelmed because you see it in the post too, and it's just amazing how many people are. But you know, the thing to do is to focus on the good people, because I believe everyone has good in them, and there's more good people than there are bad ones. You know, there's always going to be the ones that have to put their 2 cents in, you know, or the ones that have their point of view or racist or whatever. But I believe there's good in everyone, and I believe that there's more good out there than there are bad. And so together we can definitely get through this and be better together.
And there are a lot of voices out there.
Yes.
I wouldn't necessarily say that they are bad, but because there are so many opinions about it, there's so many social media doctors, so to speak, that think that they know what's going on. And I think a lot of people are just confused. You know, we didn't know a lot about it. We still don't know enough. So there are a lot of people that are confused, and I guess even more so, they're fearful. And fear can lead to a lot of different things. And one of those things are negativity. Because you're scared, your negativity comes out because you feel helpless. So I don't know if I want to quantify people as bad, but confused.
Confused, opinionated.
Yes. Here's one of the bigger topics of COVID. We've learned that two separate companies have a vaccine that they believe are coming out very soon. One, I believe, has a 90%, the other one has a 95% effective rate as a vaccine. But a lot of people are very skeptical of putting something in their body. I believe you have to take 2 doses. They're very skeptical of putting something in their body that, number one, was developed very quickly because of the situation at hand, and hasn't been researched as other vaccines that we've had in the past with trials and things of that nature. So what? And I know that you have to curb your words, so to speak, because you are a health professional, and you do work for a hospital. So I'm not asking you to champion or belittle the vaccine, but just tell me, what are your thoughts about this vaccine coming out?
Um,
In the
yes,
future?
in my opinion, of course, like, and then probably a lot of healthcare professional too, and we don't know that much about the effectiveness of the vaccine. We
Yes.
expressed the concern as well too, like, are we rushing the vaccine out without any like substantial trial? And
Yes.
then I personally don't want to take the first batch of the vaccine.
Exactly. Don't want to be that guinea pig.
And then also, you know, and a lot of people, they said they don't want to take the first batch.
Yes.
And I believe that as far as vaccination and stuff like that, it's a big topic of like, is it mandatory? Is it voluntary? And
Yes.
that will be like a discussion coming up. And then as of right now, all the hospitals or healthcare institution are not making it mandatory,
Right.
voluntarily. So, and for me right now, and we were care professional or like in a light note teasing and said, we don't want to be the first candidate out. We want to be number and the 3rd round, the 4th round. So this is going to be like a major topic of discussion in regards to people who are like even like pro-vaccine, and or people who are like is this a rush vaccine?
Mhm.
I don't have the answers to that. I don't know like the fact, how the side effects of it, but is the benefit outweighing the risk? But I personally don't want. Hopefully, I'm not being forced to take the first batch.
Sure.
But that's my own personal opinion, and
No.
people have their own like decisions to make.
Yes. I agree totally. I have a friend who works for a state agency, and they are part of the trial when this vaccine first comes out. And it was interesting to me because we were talking. She's a college friend of mine, and she said that they have told them that it will be mandatory for them because they're going to be in this trial, that it will be mandatory for the government workers to actually have to take this vaccine. What are your thoughts as far as it being mandatory?
That is a very like a debate, and
Mhm.
I don't have an firm opinion of that. I hope that it's voluntary.
Okay.
As far as voluntary as vaccination, but if I like have to, if the hospital mandate that I take it, I would take it with the understanding that if I take it, that it will protect my. But I am hoping that it would be voluntary, because that is a major like ethical discussion.
Sure.
For vaccination. So, I'm hoping that it will be like voluntary, and each person has to choose what is in their best interest, what they feel is the best interest for them, for their family, or for the community. So that is that's going to be a very hot topic. One is like the effectiveness of vaccination. Is there any side effects? And then also, Is it going to be voluntary or mandatory?
Mm-hmm.
Right. On this podcast, we try not to take sides politically, no matter what our thought process is. We try to, see both sides of the playing field, so to speak, just so that we are catering to all our audience. What is and I'm not looking for you to champion or condemn this topic, but what is your viewpoint on how our highest political system, which is the president and his advisors, how do you think they handled the pandemic when it came out and thus far?
I think when it came out, we had an presumption about, like, first of all, that this would never come to the United States, that it was originated from China, stay in China, and then even like when it hit Europe, Italy, the Italians were warning us that, it's affecting, learn from our mistakes. Us being American who are like freedom fighter, who doesn't like restrictions, who doesn't like being told what to do, we were not prepared for it.
Right.
We are the country, we think that we're the greatest, and we still have the mindset. I had a discussion with my daughter, and she said, Mom, all through my like childhood, I've been told that our country's the best. We're like number one powerhouse, and we still think that we're the best. I do a lot of traveling over the world, and when I go, I'm still, as an American, I didn't realize that I expect other people to speak English to me.
Yes.
And we didn't know a lot about it, and we were a little bit arrogant in regards to even like my community, my healthcare community. We thought that initially the flu's even worse, right?
Yeah.
And so we didn't take it seriously, and then plus like as far as like how, like, reflecting back, I think we respond how we respond as an American, but because of like our nature of being like to be told what to do, we didn't like take precautions as other country is open, like Thailand and Southeast Asia, they're open, and like certain like European countries, they're already open. I have friends who are traveling to Turkey right now. I think that we didn't handle it appropriately. We weren't prepared for this pandemic. We didn't even have like the resources. So we like end up like because we didn't like quarantine or lock down effectively, we end up closing our economy longer than necessary. And then that becomes about life, as far as like living versus like economical life, know, and as I think we can't go back and change the past. As far as a healthcare worker, for me is to what can we do to like save the most life, and what can we do to, and hopefully that in the next like few weeks that people will take more vigilant precautions, and that we can like get this down so we can like open our economy more.
Yeah.
So it's like we did what we can as Americans, but it was not like I don't even know I did the right thing at the beginning. We, and as a healthcare worker, we have the same fear as other like layman person. We fear for our life too. We worry about like and how my children's gonna grow up without me, and whether my parents gonna die, like so, and then like the financial impact but I say that we can't be in this predicament if we had like a stronger like beginning outcome agenda.
Sure.
But knowing that it's like we can only evaluate the past, and then with the evaluation of the past, we can have to like counteract it with like a new agenda. So hopefully, I hope that this coming presidency will have like changes and objective, how to handle the pandemic, because the last way we do it, we have like so.
Right. Understand totally.
Definitely.
We would like to say, well, first of all, we do want to give you an opportunity to present your information and give a final word to the audience. But before we do that, I would like to thank you, you and all healthcare professionals, because this was one of the stranger times in our life when, regardless of talking about mortality rates, which I really don't like when people talk about mortality rates, because if even one person dies from something that we're not sure of and we don't know about, that's awful. So no matter what the mortality rate is, you guys still put your lives on the line to help everyone, to help people that you guys don't know. So that is commendable. That is something that during this depressing time gives everyone a little hope that, you know, the human spirit is not dead, because we see it every day with our frontliners, whether or not it is healthcare professionals or police officers or firemen or whatever the case may be, that you guys are going out when you know very little. When this first started and they told us that we'd have to lock down, I went to work and home, and that is it. No more coaching my son, no more any of that stuff. And that to me took a toll. But to have to do all of that and still going to work around people who are dealing with this, who are affected with this disease, just is mind-boggling to me. So in that regard, I would like to say thank you very much for your service, number one. Number two, if someone has questions, you know, you are a healthcare professional, but you're also a life and health coach. So if someone has questions, your information is scrolling at the bottom. So what would they do? Would they DM you through Facebook or shoot you an email? Would you like for them to pose their question there, or would you rather you guys connect first? How would that process go?
Yes, whatever is comfortable for with the person, whether they want more privacy, they can DM me, and then like we can contact like through phone or like email. You know, I'm just here to like offer like free service to help people going through this as well. My heart goes out to everyone, every small business community has been affected, any families, any friends, you know, regardless of our political differences or our different narrative and all stuff like that, we're going through this together. And I feel like we should be united. We can all agree to disagree, but at the end, like we need to fight this pandemic together, so we can like move it forward and we can win against this. So like, you know, feel free, and as your comfort level, to reach out to me. I can help as much as I can. If I can't help you, I can like refer you to resources to help. It's just my gift to like the community. So feel free to contact me.
Awesome.
That sounds great. That sounds great. For our audience, if you guys are battling with whatever, you know, whether it's mental, whether it's physical, no matter what it is, please, she's offering her wealth of knowledge, her services, free of charge right now. So that's something that to me is amazing, that, you know, you're able to seek help confidentially with a well-trained professional. So please utilize what is offered to you. Once again, free of charge. Free is always a great price for something. And when you are dealing with something that is as precious as someone's knowledge of health and mental issues, definitely take advantage. And
also, if you guys are dealing with mental health issues, I don't know if you watched our last couple of podcasts, but Stone Catchers Counseling is offering free counseling to those who are in need. They are offering free counseling through Stephen Jackson. So if you can go to www.stonecatchers.com, if you don't have insurance or you don't have, you know, they do offer complimentary for those that are struggling that need that. So through Stephen Jackson. And if you know anyone, Rasmi, that needs it, Stonecatchers is offering free counseling.
And on that note, once again, thank you very much for coming on to our podcast. We truly appreciate it. You gave a wealth of knowledge and insight onto something that is affecting every person in our country. So thank you very much for coming on. We'd love to have you back sometime. And if anyone needs her, please reach out to her. And thank you, Rasmi.
Yes.
And thank you for having me, and thank you for initiating this Bayesian and podcast to help out. So
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good rest of your evening.
All right. See you later.
sure. Are we speaking in Laos to the elderly?
Yeah, you want to stay tuned, and then we're gonna finish off, and then I'm gonna bring you back on. So don't hang up.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
All right, guys. That was a wealth of information about something that is affecting everyone. That really takes its toll. Like I said, whether it's physically, whether it's mentally, it's a big part of our lives right now. And no matter what happens with the vaccine, we're going to be dealing with this for a while. Even if the vaccine does work, there's production, there's getting it out to the masses. There's that debate that we spoke about on whether or not it has been effectively researched and trialed, whether or not this is something that will be voluntary or mandatory. So it will be a while that we deal with this very tragic disease that we just came upon us just out of nowhere. So listen to what the healthcare professional says. Listen to the scientists. Listen to people who are versed before you listen to someone who is just, giving their opinion. I rather my plumber that comes to fix my plumbing in my house be a certified plumber and not someone who's just watched YouTube and feel that they know what they're doing. I want somebody certified. I want somebody that's educated, and a healthcare professional is the person to go to.
Definitely.
On that note, we'd like to say thank you again for tuning into our podcast. If you did not watch our podcast live, then please, by all means, when you see it on our various platforms, stream it and check it out later. Check it out while you're at work. Support us, because we are trying to do this to educate, to entertain, and to kind of help people through this trying time.
Definitely.
And on that note, deuces. You guys be cool.
Bye-bye. Oh, hello, we're back. So,
Hello. I couldn't hear you earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I wanted for us to come jump back on, and then this way we could have you send a message to our Lao community and some of our older Lao parents and grandparents, that did not understand what you were saying throughout this because they don't speak English. I'd love for you to maybe shed some light and kind of summarize what you said in this entire podcast and kind of summarize your message to them, because perhaps we could take a clips of this live broadcast and share it with the Lao community.
Okay. So สบายดี and ต้องขอโทษหน่อยหนึงแบบพยายามเว้าภาษาลาวแต่ว่าบ่เก่งปานใดหากสิพยายามที่ดีที่สุดอันนี้มันนกกันน้อยรัศมีแสงประเสริฐเป็นนางพยาบาลอยู่ห้องหมอแล้วได้คนไข้ที่เป็นโควิดเนาะso อยากให้มาให้พี่พ่อแม่พี่น้องเรียนรู้เรื่องว่าโควิดมันนั่นเริ่มขึ้นแล้วเดือน10เดือน11นี่อยากให้พ่อแม่พี่น้องคนลาวเนาะเพราะว่าเดี๋ยวนี้เฮาได้ฮู้เห็นเคสอยู่ในสังคมลาวขึ้นแบบผู้น้อยอายุน้อยประมาณ30 40 50ปีแล้วผู้เฒ่า60 70 80ปีแต่เป็นโควิดเนาะแล้วขึ้นอยากให้พ่อแม่พี่น้องหั่นระวังคันแบบมีเหตุการณ์คือว่าตัวเองเป็นโควิดหั่นไป get tested แล้วไปหาหมอแล้วต้องดูแลตัวเองกินวิตามินแบบวิตามิน D3 วิตามินC แล้วซิงค์เนาะอยากให้พ่อแม่พี่น้องหันแบบดูแลตัวเองให้เพราะว่าเดี๋ยวนี้โควิดมันขึ้นเฮาแบบครั้งที่2แล้วที่แบบว่าเห็นโควิดมันทำลายมันคนลาวเป็นหลายขึ้นขอบใจที่ฟังคันมีคำถามมันหยังให้โทรมาหานกจาก Facebook และนกจะตอบคำถามได้คันเป็นไผมีปัญหาเรื่องแบบกุ้มใจเรื่องบ่มีงานมีความกุ้มใจมันหยังโทรมาหานกได้แล้วมาปรึกษานกได้คันยังมีคำถามเรื่องโควิด19หั่นมาถามนกได้ขอบใจหลาย
ๆ Awesome. Thank you. And then how would they reach you? The same way, like the email, and they can.
Yes, I told them that to reach out to me through your Facebook, and then after that I can like contact them, and if I can like understand them, I have a backup person who's my cousin Noi Sarah. She's really good at speaking Laos, and she's also a holistic healer. So I did like apologize to them if I didn't speak Laos clearly, but what I said was that like COVID is surging, and then if you have any symptoms, and contact your professional, get tested, and then be more mindful of like the COVID, get yourself healthy mentally and physically, vitamins, and then like check family members. Pretty much a simple wrap up of what we said in.
Yep, and then if anyone needs assistance as far as financial help or resources, like to kind of reach out to you so you can help them navigate their way through this pandemic.
Yes, because there's a lot of like resources มีความช่วยเหลือเรื่องการงานเรื่องget unemployment เรื่องsmall business, we can help direct them.
Yeah,
if
definitely.
I didn't know everything, but I can look up resources too. It's my way of giving back to the community.
Yeah, definitely, because there are people who may not know what to do. So especially our elderly Lao community that may not know the language or resources, and because there's a lot of resources out there. So definitely, we're all here together. So
even like the recent like shutdown and everything like that, there's state fundings for like small businesses. There's grants just for this second round of like limited dining or in restaurants. There's like grants out there from the states.
Exactly, and we have this home health care company that Tom works at, Casey Herrera. If you guys are in the Chicago area, Chinese Mutual Aid Association, CMAA, they are still offering $400 grants for families who are in need. There's still enough funding available. If you are in need and you were affected by COVID, then definitely reach out to, she's in my friends list, Katesy Herrera. That is my cousin. She is one of the managers there with Chinese Mutual Aid Association, and they have $400 grants to give out if your family was affected by COVID and you're in the Chicagoland and Elgin area. So,
okay.
and
Do you want me to translate that to you?
Yeah.
โอเคพ่อแม่พี่น้องคันต้องการความช่วยเหลือแบบเรื่องเงินเรื่องคำเนาะCMS is a CMA Chinese Mutual สังมีเงินช่วยเหลือประชาชนแบบ$400คันเจ้าตอนมีปัญหาเรื่องเงินเรื่องaffect by COVID นี่like ช่วยจะใช้เงินนั้นใส่ค่าบ้านแต่ได้ใส่ค่าbill มันยังแต่ได้ because and also there's resources available for people to bill and com ed bill and as well too.
Yep, or also like I can speak Lao, not as good as you, but I can try.
Go for it.
So also CMAA and also Zillins, a couple of companies that I know, they can help you hook and what do you call it? This organization
Samakom.
สังคม
Samakom.
ได้คันเจ้าอยู่เฮือนแล้วก็ลูกหลานเป็นผู้ take care เป็นผู้เบิ่งหั่นนะเจ้าแล้วก็ลูกหลานเจ้าไป contact ไปโทรไปหาสังคมพวกอันนี้เลยเขาเจ้ามาซอยก็ได้แล้วก็ลูกหลานเจ้าก็จ่ายเงินเขาเจ้าจ่ายเงินให้ลูกหลานเจ้าซอยเจ้าก็ได้พวกอันนี้ yeah did I do okay did you understand me
I don't think both of us would be the level of Rasmi Sengpraseuth.
Oh no, I can go
yes,
on.
But I think that we did get a message across and then อยากให้พ่อแม่พี่น้องฮู้ว่ามีคนจะช่วยเหลือคันมีปัญหามันหยังมีปัญหาเรื่องภาษาเรื่องมีปัญหาเรื่องหาการกลุ้มใจเรื่องโควิดที่บ่ได้เจอพี่น้องมันหยังให้โทรมาหานกโทรมาหาลอราเพราะว่าแล้วพวกนกสิซอยเหลือหาสมาคมที่ซอยผู้เจ้าได้โดยเฉพาะผู้เฒ่าที่อาจจะบ่มีลูกหลานบ่มีเงินค้ำหลายมีสมาคมที่ซอย
Yes. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming on today. We certainly appreciate you and your time. Thank you for all you're doing out there and your support for the community. So keep up the good work.
You too. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much for initiating this podcast on all different topics. It really I know it's reaching out to the community and it's reaching out and not
Awesome. All right. Well, see, next week we will be here. Once again, same time, same place. We will see you next Wednesday at 7:00. Be sure to tune in. Bye-bye.